Traders Live podcast.
All right. Good morning, Marto. How are
Morning,
you?
Jugs. Good, buddy. You?
Yeah, very well, mate. I think we've both recovered from our few days in Sydney.
Speak for yourself, mate.
All right, all right. That's funny. We are this morning undertaking our first public or live Trader Bite session. So we've done a few of these in private, see if we had any chemistry, see if we could figure out what was going on, and now we're here. So no pressure, but don't stuff it up. No, good, mate. Today we are going to just go through some of the data from yesterday. Yesterday was Monday for us, and historically we haven't seen, anything too crazy, but it's going to be a good way for us just to sort of break the ice and have a look at maybe a bit of the data behind the day move and how we can essentially trade better around that. So if you wanted to open up Monday and just have a bit of a chat about exactly what unfolded or what didn't unfold, and we can go from there.
Yeah, sure, Chugs. Mate, it finished back near open, which is not kind of that unusual on a Monday, but I guess the interesting thing was that pre-open move that we saw. So I think it was about 16 points in that first 10 minutes from the 9:50 open to the regular trading hour open at 10. So yeah, so these are all the things, I guess, from my point of view that I'm looking out for to try and see any kind of irregularities or something a bit out of the ordinary and see how that normally plays out. So just as an example for Mondays, all I've done here is just filter the data by Monday and then by a pre-market move down. So greater than 10 points fall, I think. So essentially what we look at there, play around with it a bit, obviously, but you look at the move to day low. I mean, the smallest move in the last 3 or 4 years that we've had from 10 a.m. to the day low was 9 points. And the average is, 34 points to day low. So I guess in terms of some kind of actionable insight there, we opened here at 10 o'clock and we rallied, I think it was about 15 points in the first, 10 minutes. So to me, like, my trading strategy around that was shorting it additionally every few points on the way up, because I've got my eye on these figures here. So, unless it's going to be the only day in the last 4 years on a Monday that we've sold off on pre and just rallied from open, which could happen, but it's obviously historically a small probability. That was a pretty kind of compelling short for me, and obviously the day meandered along and didn't do a great deal, but these are kind of the days that a lot of traders just get chopped up on. So to have that kind of little edge, I guess, in terms of it depends as well how disciplined you wanted to get. You could have waited a little bit. I went from open and then added to the position, but just a little something interesting on a Monday, on a pretty boring Monday, I guess. Other than that,
No, good. Just quickly on your layering of entries into that move, you obviously said that you took your first trade on open there and then added every so often after that. Can you just talk really quickly on one, position sizing of that, and then two, just essentially where you put those different layers on the way up?
Yeah, so I usually use every 5 points. So I would have gone short at open and then 1, 2, 3 probably additional entries. Position sizing is obviously kind of unique to your capital base and the leverage that you get, but obviously you don't want to be risking too much on that, and you've got to consider. So I'd be looking at kind of from a risk point of view. Put me on the spot here, but I would have been looking at kind of the cutoff for these falls that I was looking for, and what kind of, if it rallied over, I don't know, I'm just pulling this out of what I'm seeing here, but if it rallied over 15 points or it rallied past the kind of 10 or say 11 o'clock high, that's where I would have put the stop. So I would have kind of strategized the position sizing around that worst case scenario, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah. No, great, great. It's great insight to sort of see how you sort of have a frame around the day without thinking that it's going to on a a run of the mill Monday. It's not going to the market's not going to zero. The market's not going to 10 million, and how you approach just another trading day. So
Yeah, and that's
yeah,
another
thank you for that, and
good
thanks for
point.
sharing. And
Thanks, buddy. That's another good point, and I did put a post on that yesterday around trying to understand before the market opens kind of whether it is, as you say, is going to be a pretty boring day or not. Because obviously, when you mentioned position size, that's something that you've got to take into account as well. Like my positions yesterday, for instance, were much smaller than what they normally would be because I didn't have that kind of indicator that anything decent was going to happen. So that's just another consideration.
yeah, great. All right. Well, I think that might do us for this morning. But until next time, I'll be chatting to you, and thanks for that.
Thanks, Church. Good start, mate. See you, buddy.